I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020.
Yes.
We did it!
I've been waiting 8 days to hear that.
Well, welcome to Facebook Live, everybody, in the new year. This is the Mike Staff Productions Facebook page you are checking out, and we thank you for tagging along and hanging out with us as we enter this new year of wedding planning. I'm Lauren, the social media manager here at Mike Staff Productions.
My name is Chris Zeman. I'm the director of photography here at Mike Staff Productions, and we are excited to be back with you guys. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a lull there with Christmas and New Year's falling on Wednesdays this year.
Calendars. Sorry about that.
So, but I'm assuming we probably have a lot of new peeps joining us because we've got a new year, we've got new engagements.
That's the big exciting
new
part.
Weddings
New
to
engagements.
Plan. Yeah.
Yes.
So we hope that you're hanging out with us, and the point of these lives are really to connect with you on a weekly basis, personally, in a fun, just easygoing way.
Yeah, lighthearted and informative.
And so, like, maybe when you're at your desk eating lunch, you can just like decompress, stop thinking about work, and think about what you really want to be thinking about.
Absolutely.
Wedding planning.
I know all you grooms to be are thinking about wedding planning.
Absolutely. But here's the deal. So we hang out with you every Wednesday at noon. We've got Chris with us, myself. Sometimes we bring in Kurt, our director of entertainment. We're going to have a variety of guests for you this season for our Facebook Live, and we've got a ton of new topics. And it's just all to help make wedding planning easier, stress-free, to give you some tips and tricks you may not have thought about on your own.
And remember, if we haven't touched a topic yet that you're interested in, drop us a message, throw it in the comments. We'll make a Facebook Live about that topic.
For sure.
I promise you, you're not the only one asking that question.
Yeah, and we've got Natalie from our marketing team behind the scenes. She's hanging out with us on Instagram. She'll be answering your questions. So get involved. We want to make this round of Facebook Live sessions even better than 2019.
Absolutely.
So thank you for hanging out. So speaking of 2019, we just had such a killer season. We had so many couples, just so many gorgeous, beautiful weddings. And for those of you who recently got engaged, and I met quite a few of you at the Novi Bridal Show last weekend, we're hoping to give you a little inspiration and to give you just a glimpse into what our company is all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we offer DJ photography and videography, and so take a look. We kind of put together a little best of our favorite moments of 2019 to get things started. Check it out.
Hope you enjoy.
to quite top 2019, but I know our team can do it.
I'm
We
pretty
can.
confident. I'm
We
pretty
can.
confident. I think 19 topped 18. I think 20 can top 19.
Yeah, 2020 is such a huge
Yes.
year for weddings. There are so many incredible, like really unique dates. You know,
It is the year of cute
2020.
dates.
Yeah, so I know a lot of you already have kind of wedding planning under control. A lot of our 2020 weddings are, you know, you're hitting the ground running. You're
Yeah.
good. But a lot of the couples that we met at the bridal show this weekend, you know, recently got engaged over the holidays,
Yeah.
and so they're looking at 2021. 2022, and so really kind of let the planning begin.
I think it's realistic. I think people are going into it knowing that all the big hot dates in 2020, a lot of them are booked for venues.
Yep.
I know we are getting filled up in a lot of dates very quickly, but we still have availability. So I think people are looking at it going, okay, maybe we should wait a little bit longer, spread out the engagement, and do it
Yes.
right and plan it over a process.
100%. And so today, what we are going to be talking to you about are tips for stress-free wedding planning when you're 12 months or longer out from your wedding date. So we're going to turn this into a little bit of a Facebook Live series.
Yeah.
Because obviously, so we're starting at 12 months out. You just got engaged. That ring is fresh on your finger. What do I do? Then in the next couple of weeks, we'll break it down to the 6-month period, and then 4, 3, 2, and then pretty much your wedding's going to be like right around the corner.
Let's be honest, we couldn't give all this information in one Facebook Live,
No.
or even two.
No. So tips for stress-free wedding planning. We've got some great graphics for you that you can screenshot, save to your computer, and we'll put this up on YouTube. You can refer back to it, but let's kind of dive in. So if you just got that ring over the holidays,
Oh, that's not that ring. That's a prettier one.
yeah,
That's a prettier
one that maybe sparkles
Yeah.
a little. You're probably thinking, okay, what do I do next? And for a lot of you, you hit that Novi Bridal show thinking, okay, this is a good place to kind of gather my thoughts, meet some of the vendors,
Yeah.
check out some venues, see what my options are. And that can still be overwhelming.
Oh yeah, because there's just so much going on at a bridal
Right.
show.
Absolutely.
There's so many options. There's so many ideas. Think about dresses alone. How many dresses did you see there?
There were a lot of dresses, and there were fashion shows, and so many different styles and varieties.
Yeah.
So kind of when you get home and you decompress, you go, okay, so what do I actually have to do
Yeah.
this far out? So let's break it down. Natalie, let's throw up our first graphic. So we've kind of narrowed it down to 8 items, just to keep it simple and not to overwhelm you.
Right.
So first things first, get inspired. Maybe that's what some of you did at the bridal show. Maybe you're getting all of those wedding dress magazines.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a big thing. Get inspired sounds so generic, but when you really break it down, it's so important.
Right.
Because getting inspired is going to tell you, do you want an indoor wedding, an outdoor wedding, a church wedding, a non-church wedding, a summer wedding, a fall wedding.
Right.
Like, there's so many variations
The
and factors.
colors that you want,
Yeah.
the style, the look, the feel. Do you want a large wedding? Do you want a small wedding? Do you want a massive bridal party? Do you just want 1 or 2 friends?
Do you want to be traditional? Do you want to be non-traditional,
Right.
you know?
Not to overwhelm you.
There's options, though.
But there are lots of options, and that's where hitting our Instagram or anyone's Instagram, Google, getting those magazines, typing some things in, writing things down, having a little checklist in a notebook. We actually have a link to our Instagram page on this post. So if you're interested in seeing some of our photography and videography work, it's all right there. And whether regardless if you want to work with our company, it just is something to look at. It's
Yeah.
a great resource.
Yep, totally.
So get inspired, have fun. This is what being engaged is all about, learning what you like and thinking about how you want to throw that dream wedding. Once you find out what you want, then you need to set your budget.
And that's the hard part.
Right. Setting your budget, there's a lot of different steps that can go into place when you set your budget. I think discussing it, number one, with your fiance,
Yeah.
getting a nice range, talking with your families about their contributions or whether they're going to or not. Have an idea going into it. So before you buy those Chiavari chairs or start dreaming
Right.
of them, you kind of know where you can cut things off.
Well, and also that kind of goes into even with like as you're looking at dates being like this year versus next year.
Right.
Say this year we have 7 months to save up, but if we do it in 21, we might have 15 to 19 months to save up money and to spread that budget out a little bit and have a little more fun with it.
And speaking of picking a date, looking at Fridays, looking at
Yeah.
Sundays, looking at venues and vendors, kind of like Mike Staff Productions that offer discounted rates for different days during different times of the year.
Right.
So
Peak
there's
season, off season, absolutely.
Right. There's a lot of different factors. So put that, on a list of things to do. If you're looking for ways to save money, don't get married on September 22nd, like I did.
Yes.
Look at those different options. So that's
Yeah.
where you are for setting.
Like
for
I know
setting your budget.
when we got married in November, mainly because I'm a wedding photographer, but
Right.
we looked at getting like just after season, and our hall gave us a huge discount
Yep.
because we were in off season.
Absolutely.
They
Makes a
actually
difference.
called me and they offered me a bigger discount if I would move it to the opening of hunting season.
Oh no.
Because they had never booked that date before, and I
Can't
was
do
like,
that.
and you're not booking it this year.
So you don't have to have everything nailed down, just have a general idea of what you would like to spend, so when you start moving forward, you know where to stop.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw that
So,
graphic back up.
bridal party is our next one.
Oh, look, you have a good memory.
I got it.
needed
God,
it.
it's up here,
I
man.
needed to see it.
Picking your bridal party, I think, is huge.
So fun. Not only do you want to think about who you want to stand up with you, but how you want to ask
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Like I know when I asked a lot of my guys. I just kind of told everyone, hey, listen, we're all gonna go to the bar tonight. We're gonna get together. And they knew that I had gotten engaged, but they didn't know anything else in that. And I ordered a round of drinks and beers for everyone, and I said, okay, but before you drink this, you got to accept this responsibility. So I went through stuff
very
like that,
cool.
and we had fun with it. And I know I've seen girls do all kinds of cute things with it.
So for my wedding, we invited everybody over. It was in the summer. We had a smaller bridal party, 4 girls, 4 guys. We told everyone we were having a Tigers party at our house to watch the Tigers. We might have been playing better than our team. So we had everyone, we said, come in your gear. This is going to be a themed, awesome party. Everybody came secretly. We had tickets for the game. So we gave them each a
nice.
card that asked them if they would be in our wedding, and then inside was a ticket to the game. We hopped in our cars, went downtown
That's
to the game,
sweet.
so we surprised them. But that is something that we were able to do because we had a smaller,
Yeah.
we had a smaller group.
Yep.
So it's fun. Work with your fiance, figure out who you want to be your maid of honor and best man, and have an idea. Because if you get your bridal party set early, they can help you plan.
Hopefully.
Okay, do you remember the 4th one? Because I don't.
Yeah, of
Oh.
course I do.
Okay.
No, I really do. It's wedding guests.
Okay,
But
wedding
you gotta
guests,
figure out your
okay.
guest list. You gotta figure out, and not even just your exact guest list, but think of doing it in layers. Like our immediate family, first cousins. Do we add work friends? Do we add childhood friends? Maybe you come from a huge family and like the neighbors are also like family and
Yep.
friends. That's a big thing too. So I think when you figure out those layers, it kind of it's like an onion, right? You start peeling it away and figuring it out how big it should or shouldn't be.
Your guest list is a huge determining factor of your budget. The
Big
more
time.
people you have at your reception, the more expensive it's going to get. There are more plates. There's
Yeah.
more chairs. There's more tables that require linens. There's
Yeah.
more tables that require centerpieces. So that is a great way to help you determine your budget and see where you can move forward and backward.
Well, you and I were even talking about it on Monday when we were going over the prep for this,
Yep.
is that your guest count also has a huge factor on what venues you should and shouldn't look at.
100%.
Because if you're going and you're doing a huge 350 person wedding, there's a lot of venues that won't hold you.
Yep.
And if you're doing a small wedding, there's a lot of venues where you're not going to meet the minimum.
Yeah,
So you got to
for
really
sure.
figure that out before you're even really looking at venues.
So, Natalie, let's throw the graphic up just to recap, because
Yeah.
they might not have a photographic memory like Chris does. So, the first 4 things that you can start doing when you get engaged: get inspired, set your budget,
Yep.
ask your bridal party so they can help you, and start drafting a guest list. So all of those 3 items beforehand, it'll all make sense. It'll fall into place. Again, you don't have to have the whole guest list, the seating chart done, an idea of how many people you want, because your venue right away is going to say, how many guests are you going to
Yep.
have? You want to be able to be prepared and say, roughly 150 to 200.
Yeah. And would you say 50 is kind of a good threshold?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
A gap of within 50
You're
is kind of a good
probably,
ballpark?
because there's always, I think I've read in the past, like at least 30 guests are going to say RSVP no.
Yeah.
So something to consider. Okay, the next graphic.
This one I don't have memorized because I haven't seen it yet.
So these are the next couple of things to do within 12 months before your wedding. Finalize your wedding date, select your venue, start booking vendors, and start dress shopping. Okay, so let's focus on finalizing your wedding date. When you go to a venue, they're going to say, when are you getting married?
Right.
They need to check their availability. Weddings are booking up faster, and venues are booking up faster than ever before. No, at least my girlfriend, she had her date that she wanted and 2 backups.
We picked our wedding date within 2 hours of me saying, will you marry me?
Okay, look at that. She knew.
We had the date where we started looking right then. We started narrowing down. We're like, okay, that's the date.
Yep. And then it's just so important because at vendors, venues, all going to want to know if they're able to do it or not. And if they can't, they can't. And then you have to look for other options.
And it really is going to make those conversations with venues, with vendors, so much more beneficial as opposed to, I think I might get married on a day,
Right.
and I'm not sure when.
People will be able to help you better with that little bit of information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I already forgot the next one. I have like mom brain right now.
I don't know what happened. We've been off for a couple weeks.
Okay, now throw it back up. Select your venue. Wow, okay. So once you pick
Makes
your
sense.
date, then pick your venue. I don't think we need to elaborate on that too much other than you're going to have some favorites. You're going to want to look at pricing.
Yep.
Convenience for your guests all play roles in where you want to have your wedding.
Right. And then we say, select your DJ, photographer, videographer.
Yes.
Let me be completely transparent. It's not because those are services we offer. It is mainly because when you are booking personalities, as I call it, so you're selecting a person, there's only one of them.
Yep.
Okay? Like when you come into our office, you're looking at photographers, DJs, we have multiple options, but to select a specific one, there's only one of that person.
Right.
There's going to be plenty of time for suits, for tuxes. There's going to be plenty of time to book flowers,
Cake.
different cakes, different linens, right?
Yeah.
Those are things that aren't related to one option. And I think that's where it's really important to book your vendors that are a personality first.
If you know there's a photographer you want to work with, if you know there's a DJ out there you want to work with, if your friend had a videographer that you want to have at your wedding, call them right away.
Yeah.
Know your date, know your guest list, because they like to know the amount, the size of the wedding.
Yeah.
They like to know when the wedding is and where. So we put these items in a particular order for a reason.
Yep.
By the time you get down to booking vendors, they're going to want to know those crucial pieces of information. And as we've mentioned, there are a couple of months in 2020 that we are booked solid for. Mike's Set Productions is sold out. And that can happen very quickly during a popular wedding season.
Yeah, you get dates that are just like, okay, they're gone.
They're gone.
And I mean, we're always trying to bring more talent on to have more options for those dates, but sometimes those cute dates, they go real fast.
Yeah, and even just particular seasons. So those are just such 3 important pieces of your wedding. Prioritize them based on your budget, based on your wants. Maybe your photographer is more important than other elements. So obviously use your own discretion and what's important to you, but get on those the sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. And lastly, and what most brides will say is the most important, and it's the one aspect I have zero information and I can help so little on. I can tell you what I think looks good or what I think is in style, but
Maybe.
Lauren, tell me, how is the process of selecting your dress?
Okay, you need to start also very early. I think I got engaged and was like, Mom, let's go shopping. Come on, let's
Like the
go.
next day, right?
Right, like maybe within seriously like a week or a month. Just because it's just so fun. I didn't want to look at magazines anymore. I wanted to go feel them and touch them. And the reality is wedding dresses can take up to 9 months to order. Then you have alterations, and there's always more than one fitting. So it's never too soon to start wedding shopping, not only because it's fun, but because technically sometimes you do need the time to get these dresses in from the salon.
Yeah, and guys, like, I make the joke about that because a tux and a suit seems so simple, but if you've ever rented a tux, if you've ever bought a suit, or if you ever had a suit made for you, there's a process. And it is important to go feel it, touch it, try it on. I will never forget, I had a buddy that got married in the summer, and he went and picked out all of his tuxes in the winter. and it was all heavy wool.
Oh, right.
Really
That
warm.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, Derek, these are really
What
warm,
did you do
man. And it's important to be aware of those things.
Yeah.
The time of year is going to affect what kind of material you want,
For sure.
you know?
Absolutely.
We were sitting there going, like, could you have done linen? Like, that would have been great, you know? But there are different things you want to feel. You also want to know, like, when it comes to the different dresses, if different suits, everything else, if you have a bridal party that are out of town, there's different factors because you need to know if they can get measured, if the measurements will match, if that company will take their measurements.
Wedding dress shopping and bridesmaid dress shopping as well, because if you're doing all different style dresses, everyone's going to want to pick a different one out. They're all going to need to individually get them hemmed and tailored and brought in, and it's just a process. It is a process. You could be getting your wedding dress altered a week before your wedding sometimes, and if that's the case, and you don't want that type of stress. So these are the things you can get done early to make wedding planning stress-free.
Absolutely. One thing we tell our clients, and I have said for years, everyone goes, oh, we've got 18 months. Well, let me ask you this.
Start planning.
Do you want to spend the 3 months before your wedding going crazy and bickering because you don't have time to figure these things out? Now you're limited on options. Or do you want to look at it and go, we've got a few checks to write, everything's planned, we're good to go. Enjoy and enter your marriage stress-free.
Yes.
Such an important part.
And that's why we do these Facebook Lives, because this is information we just want to chat with you informally, face to face, stuff that you can save to your computer and remember. Just because from experience, from getting married and then working in the wedding industry, we just know it works. We know it helps. So.
Well, I think it's fair to say we've seen people that have gone down both routes.
Absolutely.
And one of them's a lot more comfortable.
Absolutely. Okay, Natalie, let's throw up that last graphic one more time just for a recap. Okay, finalize the date, select your venue, book your vendors, DJ, photo, video, and start dress shopping and tux shopping and have fun. It's fun when it's early and there's a lot less pressure.
Yes, absolutely. And it is ask your friends, ask your family, talk to those that have been through it. I guarantee you no one is going to say, no, I won't help you.
So for a little sneak peek, we put up in this post a link to the Ultimate Wedding Planning Timeline. It breaks down every section of wedding planning from every time frame. So click that, save it to your computer, save it to your phones. It can be a little guide for you. And Chris and I and some of our team members, we're going to be getting on here in the next couple of weeks and breaking down each section of the planning stage just to help you out.
Listen, guys, I'm glad we're back. I hope you're glad we're back. If there's things you want to see, let us know. We got more surprises coming next week.
Absolutely. If you are interested in learning more about our company, we've got a link here where you can schedule an appointment, talk to one of our team members, and of course, check us out on Instagram as well, so you can get inspired. Number one thing to do on the list.
Absolutely. Let's start it now.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.